Hey everyone, Diggs here for Lockpickers United, and welcome back to Teardown Tuesday. The lock of the week this week is the EVVA 3KS, and it's a pretty neat lock. You'll see a lot of similarities to the EVVA Duel that we did 2 weeks ago on Teardown Tuesday number 6, but it's different enough that it deserves its own video for sure, and also its own week. So what I have here is a Japanese mortise. It's kind of got the elements of both a rim cylinder and a mortise cylinder. You see this ring on the front here kind of acts like a rim piece, and the whole body on the back end is threaded just like a mortise would be. You can see the tailpiece there is different than what you're probably used to seeing. And here's the key, which is just awesome. I love the keys on these locks. They just look space age. So you got that big forked tip, and then you've got cuts on the top, bottom, and laser cut tracks on the side. So let's get this thing apart. All I got to do to free the cylinder up is take the 4 screws out of the back, and you'll see the little cam piece comes off. So this cam or tail piece is different than what I'm used to seeing, and it's just because it's for a different mechanism. This is not a common format to America, and I got this one from a buddy of mine, Urban Hawk, who deals in lots of Asian locks. EVVA itself is not an Asian company, just speaking to the format. So there you see the tailpiece. It's real small, and I would be curious to see the mechanism that this fits into, so maybe we'll dig deeper into that in a future video. But as you can see, once I have that tailpiece off, this whole cylinder just slides right out. I would call that good design. I mean, the level of serviceability you get from just being able to slide that out from the back, that would help you a ton as a locksmith. And you can see all the cuts in there. I mean, they're razor sharp. It's very, very well machined, and it's very reminiscent of our EVVA Duel. So set that aside. So now you can see this is the bottom of the cylinder, and I can tell that because you don't have the key. You don't have this key piece that's on the top. I'll pull this out and I'll show you. This piece, while it looks threatening and like it would be something that matters to picking, it doesn't. It's more of a piece that interacts with the key, and so it keeps you from putting the wrong key in there and trying to actuate the lock. When you're picking, you can just leave it alone entirely, and it'll sit down in the keyway and do nothing. So here you see the sidebar. There's 2 sidebars in this lock, and they're mirrors of each other. And the interesting thing to note, you can see that tip, that little nub that comes off the end right there. That sits into a groove that's on the key. So there's a space cut out of the key just to allow those to move in. And as you're picking the lock, you can actually see those nubs enter the keyway. And the more they enter the keyway, the more you can actually visually tell that the sidebars are moving in your favor. Now that I've got those out, you can see what's going on in the side here. You can see each side has 6 sliders, and they have nubs that extend out into the sidebar groove. Your goal is to get both of those true gates to line up with the 2 edges of the sidebar. So it sits above, below, and actually inside that sidebar body, which is kind of grooved. So now I'm just pulling out all these sliders. And I tried to get clever here and pull out 2 pinning trays so I could keep them straight and say, all right, the 6 from the right are on the right tray and the 6 from the left are on the left tray. But you'll see in a little bit that I messed that up anyway. So major difference between the Duel and the 3KS, at least the biggest difference that I care about as a picker, is that the sliders aren't sprung in this lock. There's no chamber for springs, and they're not used. So instead of having a nub that you interact with and then the cuts on the side, you just have the nub or nubs, and there is no smaller nub on the side to interact with the spring. So as you can see on this lock, the chambers for the sliders are actually lateral. They're directly across from each other. And what that means is as you're picking, as you try to get onto one of the nubs that you interact with in the keyway, you're also going to have the opposite side of the keyway and its nub right in your way. So you'll see that they alternate with one nub, two nub, one nub, two nub. But just being able to reach in the keyway and try and move one of those while another one is also on the side, it really becomes an issue and something you have to watch out for as you pick. Because these sliders aren't sprung, you actually have to watch out for moving them on accident. And it's a thing that happens for real. So here you can see I'm pointing out the ball bearings. These are just an anti-friction device. Helps the lock work a little smoother. And you can see it can sit all the way down into that keyway if it needs to. So I'm going to show you this key again. If you look at the cuts on the top of this is what keeps you from using one 3KS key and another 3KS lock. See, it has to match up with this groove. So you have specific cuts there, but it's not anything related to picking, so we don't really care about it that much. Now I'm going to show you a little better on these sidebars. So what you have going on here is two little springs in there that give you your pressure, and you have two ridges that travel along the body of it. And those two ridges are there to accept the true gates of each slider. So I'm going to set one on here, and you can see that's as happy as free lock pieces are ever going to be sitting together. It sits right in there when you have both the true gates. But if you try and put the false gate and a true gate on there, it just isn't going to happen. It won't sit there for you. And it won't open the lock either. Now I'm just going to show you. I have a pick that I've heavily modified specifically for EVVA locks, and that's what it does. It sits right on the top or bottom of those sliders, depending on how you need to move them, and allows you to get a better grip than something that would be flat or just like a hook shape. Now this is specifically designed for the 3KS, but it works on the dual and the ICS too. I got this design from Huxley Pig by way of PKR, and I made my own out of a Mad Bob pick. Basically, I just took a pick, bent it, chopped it off, and then put these little forks on it. And it does a really good job of grabbing onto those nubs. So we're going to show you how to make one of those soon for those of you that are interested in picking slider locks. And here I'm showing you the other variant. Each of these sliders has one or two nubs, and like I said earlier, they alternate 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, which can be helpful when you're repinning a lock or rebuilding one of these and you don't remember which slider goes where. That alternation can help you figure it out. So as you can see, I put a slider on the wrong tray. And as I straighten them up, I realized that one side does not have the same amount of sliders as the other. But it's okay. I've got film of it, so all I got to do is rewind the tape and I'll know exactly where that went. So we're going to do something a little different this week and give away the lock of the week, the EVVA 3KS, in a Euro modular format. But instead, we're going to give away 2. But really, we're going to give away 3. So all you got to do is comment 3KS on this video, like, subscribe if you haven't already, and show up on Slaying Saturday. We'll watch somebody pick and gut this thing, and you'll have a chance to win one of these. They're sweet lock. They're not exactly cheap, and they're very fun to pick. We also have the Silver Bullet contest still going on. Today is the 16th of July. And the 21st of July is the last day that you can enter. So If you can pick a purple belt lock or higher and submit a link to that video to our email at unitedlockpickers@gmail.com, you have a chance to win that tool. Those things will run you a cool $250. So if you haven't seen the video about the contest, all the rules are contained in Fabrication Friday number 4. So hop back to that video, check it out, get a lock picked on film, and send us the link, and you have a chance to win that sweet tool. Thanks for watching. We'll see you Throwback Thursday. Happy picking!